You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
Boom! Welcome to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Believe Network, sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate game day experience with game tickets, tailgating, stadium tours, and so much more. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and I'm joined by always my brother in arms, Mr. Mike Poland. How are we doing, bro?
Yes, we are slowly inching out of the lull, Paul. We are inching closer towards Oxnard. So I'm hyped. I'm excited. And we get to pull out some nice, fun content for the next couple of weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Totally. Just so that everyone is aware, like obviously this is a bit of a dry spell when it comes to Cowboys content. We do apologize that we've not been as active, but we too tend to kind of react to when there's actually news happening within the Cowboys, and there's not really been much news that's been going on right now. So, but we figured with this week's episode, we'll do like a
Predict the
pre
season.
a pre-prediction of the
There we go.
Cowboys
I like
schedule.
that. I like that. A
Yeah,
pre-prediction.
Yeah, and we'll do a proper prediction right before week one.
Okay.
So this is basically going to be version one of our season predictions, pretty much. That's what we're going to do here.
Okay.
So, but with that being said, Mike, how are we feeling going into this season?
Okay, so the issue for me is in week one, the Cowboys have become the sacrificial lamb. Again, it always seems to be that way. Opening night, opening season, opening game, the Philadelphia Eagles play at home. They get to unveil their new Super Bowl banner. They'll have all the bells and whistles going, bands playing, ex-players, all the rest of it, Hall of Fame guys. Everybody will be there. They'll be doing the big unveil, and then the Cowboys have got to try and come in there and play the game. Cowboys and Eagles is already a heated game. They hate both teams and fans hate each other. It's at home. You compound it with all these extra things, and you say to yourself, I just don't see in this particular situation the Cowboys coming away with a win.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, like, on face value, the Eagles do have the upper hand. In saying that, like, we just don't know where we are at right now. We really don't. Like, we've made the coaching hires, we've brought in we've been active in free agency, the draft, trades, like stuff that's very unprecedented within Cowboys Nation in general, Mike. But here we are. So new coach, like I said, new coach Brian Schottenheimer, unproven. So we just don't know where to begin. So based on the unproven and on face value, how the Eagles are, obviously them winning their second Super Bowl, not their fifth. But it's going to be a hard ask for Dallas to try and get the win. If we were to get the win, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would be killer.
It would be killer. But the problem with us winning on week one against the Eagles, the expectation level from Cowboys Nation is going to skyrocket.
Oh, the hype will be real. Yeah.
And when we lose, like if we were to lose to, I don't know, for example, Carolina.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, everyone is going to be out for Schottenheimer. Everyone's going to be out for, like, Jerry Jones, etc. It's going to be the same old story. It's like, I'm a firm believer of trusting the process.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that when we had Mike McCarthy, obviously last year, like, he took a big step back last year, became a lot more conservative because he wanted to try and hold on to his job, essentially, and not take risks. Schottenheimer's got a 3-year deal. Was it a 3-year contract he's got?
I believe so, yeah.
Like, so he's willing to make the risks in his first season to see how things work. If we end up getting the win against the Eagles, fantastic. But you still need to remember, we still got a really tough schedule for the rest of the season. We've got Denver, we've got Vegas, we've got Kansas City, we've got Eagles at home, we've got Detroit. Like that middle part of the season, which we will break down in the later part of this show, is going to be an absolute killer. But going back to this first game, Mike, just based on the pure face value, how the Eagles have improved in terms of what they did in free agency, in terms of what they did in the draft, coming off coming off winning the Super Bowl. Excuse me.
Hmm.
How they have improved in the secondary with Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator, Cooper
Yeah.
DeJean having an absolute fantastic season for him.
Yeah.
Really transformed their secondary.
They had another good draft.
Yep. Yeah, just kind of, yeah. And with Saquon Barkley, who we all thought, everyone thought that he was done. That's not the case. He ended up leading the league in rushing yards, almost breaking the NFL records. So, so with that being said, sadly, I've got the Eagles winning this game. But
Yeah,
I will say though, mate, if the Cowboys can actually make a good account of themselves in that first of the season, put points on the board offensively, not relying on Brandon Aubrey, like
yeah.
that's a good positive, even if we do lose this game.
Yeah.
It's a good positive.
There's a lot going. What there is, see, the issue with doing these type of shows is you have a conflict. You have a conflict between your heart and your head. Your heart says Cowboys are going to win. They've got to beat the Eagles, but we've got to be analytical and we've got to be correct in how you do the process. And so the head says, looking at everything, although we do get to finally see Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott.
Finally, a proper when they're both fully fit.
Yeah. And because
I mean, touch wood, nothing happens at training camp.
Exactly. If neither of them are there week one, something seriously went wrong in preseason. But it will only just compound things where the winner will be able to gloat of, oh well, look, see what happens when you finally get the starting quarterbacks facing each other, and it'll just it makes things worse. But on the plus side, you get this Thursday night game, because there are many Thursday night games for the Cowboys this year, which is good for the UK and European fans. Yay! Yeah, in case you're wondering, they're like 1-2 o'clock kickoffs over here in the UK.
Yeah,
in the morning.
For us, Mike, it's a 1:20 a.m. for us on the Friday morning for the Eagles game. So not thrilled about the start time, but that is what it is. And I'm just looking at the rest of the schedule here. You've got a Monday Night Football week 4 at the same time at 1:20 a.m. here in the UK. 2:20 if you're in Europe, in like mainland Europe. Then you've got the next one after that is week 9 at 1:15 a.m. On Monday Night Football. Then there's again Monday Night Football after the bye week. Then it's Thanksgiving. Then it's the following Thursday. Then Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that are not a Sunday game.
But 2 of those so bad because Christmas Day you got one, and then Thanksgiving we're there for anyway. So you can discount that one.
I wouldn't really discount it in some regard, but still
discount the early morning.
It's just it's tough. Like no one really enjoys like the weekday games, to be honest. I get it, TV rights and all that.
And we've got to try and do a post-game show, which is the plan. Believe Network want us to do post-game shows.
Yeah, no, trust me. Like we're willing to do it. We're willing to do it, but we're going to look like Dawn of the Dead. We're going to look like I'm going to be Simon Pegg, and you're going to be the other dude.
Yeah, the guy behind the desk.
Yeah, we're literally it's literally Shaun of the Dead podcast more than anything.
Yeah. So yes, to circle back.
Yes.
Back
to the Eagles game.
Yeah, but there's some good news, Paul. I've got some good news. I think that's the Eagles game. The good news is the week after is another division rival, but it's the home opener against the New York Giants, a team that the Cowboys have now gone 8 straight in winning, and in the last 17 games, I've only lost 1 game to the Giants.
Interesting.
And that one game, by the way, Daniel Jones was playing. That was in 2021.
That still shocks me, the fact that we actually lost the game to Daniel Jones. It's still boggles me that it really does. Like that must have been the game where he was just running that run play action all the time. We just could not stop him. Like that must have been that.
If I remember rightly, there was a couple of special teams plays in there
Could
that
have
were
been.
like, I think there was like, I think there was like a punt return for a touchdown and a kickoff that went all the way down to halfway. So it really, really helped.
Yeah. Well, for me, Mike, I've got the Cowboys winning against the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So my reason being is purely because of Dabo's in the hot seat. He's got basically 3 new quarterbacks to play around with. 1 being a rookie and Jackson Dart, 2 being Jameis Winston, and 3 being Russell Wilson. Obviously, Russell Wilson is likely to be the starter for them, but how long would that last? How long how well would they gel with that team? Yeah, they've made some great acquisitions in the draft. They've got like some elite neighbors on that roster, but they didn't really do much. Who knows? They might actually prove to be a threat this year. We don't know. But based on, again, face value as of right now, based on previous last year, I've got to go with the Cowboys in this one. We've strengthened up quite a fair bit, especially offensively and wide receiver, bringing in George Pickens, bringing in more offensive linemen, bringing in Tyler Booker. Hopefully, with now Tyler Guyton going into the second season, working more with Duke Manyweather, he would actually start to really pick up with the new offensive line coaches that we've got with Conor Riley and our offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams, which we will talk about later on at one particular game.
He's important.
That's going to be fundamental to the base of our offense is those 2 guys right there. Yeah. Like really like all about ground level football, smash mouth football, all about the offensive line, tight ends, really making it really condensed and really make an impact on it. So that's where I think that's what's going to happen. So for me, it's going to be a win for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and me, I've got a win on that one. So we're kind of in agreement already. But you just talked, obviously, about Clayton Adams, how he's important, which we'll get to. But what is important is the next game is the Chicago Bears, where Matt Eberflus comes into play. Yeah, so I'll just come straight out with it. I see this as being back-to-back wins. So the Cowboys win at the Giants. They win with Chicago Bears because Eberflus has intimate knowledge of this roster.
Absolutely. And he'll probably know a lot of these players inside out, their nicks, their issues. Like he knows these guys. So, and we had that same scenario with Dan Quinn, like when he was playing previous teams before. When we played against Atlanta, when Dan Quinn was our defensive coordinator, it just showed. It just showed.
The Cowboys absolutely annihilated the Bears the last time we were out, and I see the same thing again here for many reasons. Early in the season as well, playing Chicago in September, very important. You're not playing them down in winter time. Puts the game into their favor. They're not having to deal with cold weather. That's a big plus.
Yeah, I will say though, if that's one thing I'm really happy about this year's schedule, even though it's so tough, but the cold weather games are so early on.
It really, and that's good for injuries too. You know, there's less chance of it.
And the only downside is obviously we still need to play away to Washington and New York Giants away for the final 2 games. And Detroit. But that's more indoors though. That's fine.
True.
And same with Minnesota. But it's like Chicago and Denver. That's the big ones because that's open air stadiums.
And the week after with Green Bay.
No, we're at home.
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry, I do apologize.
Yeah, we're at home in that one.
Yeah, it is home.
But I've got us beating the Chicago Bears as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think Williams will kind of look to kind of continue to improve from last year. He's got himself. He has a good offensive weapons. It's just a matter of how well Williams and the rest of the Bears players gel with the new coaching staff in there. It's Ben Johnson, who's going to be really aggressive. So it could be a bit of a downfall for them in some regard.
Yeah.
Like it could be that ultra aggressive, like what we saw with Dan Campbell. It really it's nice to watch, but it really would cost you winning the football game. So that could be the case here, but based on face value, I've got the Cowboys winning against Chicago.
Yeah, I think we're both the same there. So that's an easy one. Green Bay, though. Talk to me about Green Bay and what you think. That's the week later, and that is at home.
Right, for me, right, straight off the bat, Cowboys are going to win against Green Bay, which is going to be a swan song for Cowboys Nation because they've been an absolute kryptonite for numerous years.
Big time.
From playoffs to certain games, especially when it comes to the last playoff game that we were in. Less we say about that game, the better. But the way I'm seeing how Green Bay are right now, even though, yes, they drafted wide receivers, which was really unheard of from a Green Bay general manager standpoint, Green Bay were in euphoria when they drafted wide receivers, getting Matthew Golden and getting some other wide receiver later on in the draft. I still don't think LaFleur is in that where I think he is in the position that he's kind of fighting for his job. So he's going to be making some type. So I think the pressure's going to be on him. And with that, I think he's going to be a little bit desperate, trying some crazy plays out there, especially in a Monday night football game. Late night Sunday game. Sorry, I do apologize. It's a late night Sunday game. I just checked the time there because I'm looking at the UK times here. So, but yeah, and hopefully by then, with us being 2 in a row, I would like to think we're on a roll. I think we will actually finally put the end and actually get our revenge on Green Bay.
It would be nice to get revenge. The last time the Cowboys, though, have beaten the Green Bay Packers at home, and it was in AT&T, was in 2007. In the last 12 games, the Cowboys have only defeated the Packers twice. I think that the Packers have just seem to be the Cowboys' kryptonite. You mentioned it. You know, they've got the Cowboys' number. They are on a 5-game winning streak at the moment against the Cowboys. It's everything is stacked in favor of. I agree. You're hoping that we've just predicted 2 wins on the bounce, that gives the team high confidence, high morale. The locker room is being won, which is what it's all about. It's about winning the locker room first. All team games are like that. So you're hoping that momentum is shifting towards a change on this narrative with Green Bay.
Yeah.
It's a tough ask. But I know you've got this as a win then, have you?
Yes, I have this as a win.
Yeah, I've got it as a loss still. I'm just playing the odds here.
All right. Well,
that's that one, yeah.
Well, moving on to week 5, we're going to be playing against the New York Jets. I mean, I can quickly go through this one right now.
Go on.
To me, face value is going to be a win. Face value. The Giants are the Jets are in disarray. They're in disarray. They really are. They've got Tyler Taylor, Adrian Martinez, Justin Fields, and Brady Cook as their quarterbacks. And in terms of the running backs, obviously the big threat for them is Braylon Allen, Bryce Hall, which has been a lot of rumors he might actually not be in New York much time, anytime longer. But in terms of wide receivers, they've got Alan Lazard, they've got who else do they have? Tyler Johnson, Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson. A lot of the guys are
players where you're just like,
yeah, there's not a star wide receiver anymore, really.
And you think as well, their defense, they've
Well,
lost a
there's
lot of
Garrett
pieces.
Wilson. There's Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, I know, yeah. But like the thing I think of, whenever I think of the Jets, I think of a solid defensive line. That's the thing I think of. But you look at go on.
We've actually took away one of their main pinnacle coaches, and that's Aaron Whitecotton.
Yeah, and this is kind of my point, and they lose Solomon Thomas as well.
Yep, there we go.
So it's like the defensive line, the foundation of what the team was kind of based on is kind of being chipped away at. So I'm with you. I think this one, and like, don't forget, the Cowboys defeated the Jets last time. They stuck 30 points on them, and they only allowed one touchdown. So I think this is an easy win for them.
Yeah, and I think same could be said for Week 6 against Carolina.
There's not much to be said on that one.
There's nothing much to be said on that one, so we can move on from Carolina. No disrespect, Carolina. Like, I remember last year, Carolina fans were actually mocking me on social media and on our YouTube channel last time, saying this and that, I'm not up. It's like, in fact, we've actually got a better record against you guys overall in history. Who the hell are you meant to mock us? But anyway, screw them. That's why they're at the bottom of the pile right now.
Don't worry, I'm being trolled heavily this week by Eagles fans, so don't worry.
Oh, I know, dude. But in terms of Game 7, we're playing Washington. Playing against Dan Quinn and his Washington Commanders at home.
So an interesting one here, right, Paul? So they come to the Cowboys. They would have played in the last 3 weeks. They would have played 2 games on the road. Their next game before they play the Cowboys, they play a home game against the Bears, ironically. And that's a Monday night football game for them.
It's a tough ask.
2 road games, and then a Monday night football game at home, and then go back on the road to play Dallas.
It's a tough ask. Like, and last year, we beat Washington at home with the Devante Turpin, like, special teams touchdown, the spinner Rooney pretty much.
Yeah. Then
Ranway Thomas recovering it was an onside kick, wasn't it? Yeah. So we recovered that. We put the nail in the coffin in that game. So, I'm based on like face value. I know Washington had a good season last year. Are they likely to kind of replicate that? I don't think they will. So I'm going to say Cowboys win by 2 scores roughly, but I'm still. It's going to be a tough game, but I think the Cowboys are going to win. So
I think this is a win too. Yeah, personally,
yeah.
Based on like their schedule before they come to play the Cowboys, and also the last time when they beat the Commanders. You remember that was the Josh Butler game as well. So it goes to show you just with the Commanders, you get one good defensive player who's really on form that day. It'll take the Commanders out. So I want to watch the Commanders a little bit more during preseason, and I think I can be a bit more I always like to pay close attention to the NFC East rivals.
Yeah.
I'm watching their camps just as closely as I am the Cowboys. So at this stage, I'm happy to say that this is a win based on a few factors, but mostly their schedule.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a loss for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like, Sean Payton, what he did last year is nothing but unreal. All things considering, no one gave Denver a chance at all last year with a rookie quarterback also, and with a depleted squad in some capacity, and still managed to pull off some really impressive wins, even though they absolutely got demolished by Miami in that early part of that season. But they still went on and came back, finished so strong, and made it to the playoffs. So, and Peyton's always had really like he's a great coach. So for me, I think it's going to be an absolute battle going to Denver. I think we're going to lose that game, unfortunately.
I do too. Based on historical trends, the Cowboys at the moment are on a 7-game losing streak to the Broncos. The last time that they won at Denver was all the way back in 1992.
Jesus.
I think people talk about the atmosphere there being a mile high, altitude, and all the rest of it. Don't know it really. I mean, we both live in the hills, but needless to say, anyway, whatever. It just seems to be a place that they struggle to get a win at, basically. So I'm with you. I think Denver's a loss as well.
Yeah, totally. Okay, moving on to week 9. We're back at home against the Arizona Cardinals. For me, I will think we'll be back on the win streak, but the only problem is this is going to be a Monday night football game again. Even though we've got that extra day to recover after the game from Denver, but to me, mate, I just hate Monday night football games. I hate it so much. But either way, I still think the Cowboys are going to get the dub. Reason being, I think Clayton Adams is going to be the key factor in terms of our offense, knowing a lot of these defensive players, their traits. He's worked with them very closely. Like, even though he's maybe the offensive line coach, but knowing how their D-line works, knowing how their linebackers work, like when they're doing practice drills when he was back in Arizona, I think that will play a massive factor and an advantage for the Cowboys going into this game.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys are on a 3-game losing streak to Arizona. One of those games, in fact, was on Monday Night Football. So we've literally had 3 losses to Arizona. One of them being on Monday night. But like you talk about Clayton Adams, and this is something you kind of have to take into account when you look at things. I actually think there's enough here from the Cowboys, especially on offense. And the Cardinals' offense, there's a lot of movement there. There's a lot of pre-snap adjustments and movements. And I think the Cowboys with Matt Eberflus will be able to handle that because it's a very simplified defense that Eberflus will put out. That means that when the shifting happens, because it's simplified, the defense doesn't have to overthink things and they can just react. So I think for a team against the Cardinals, against a defense that's kind of going to be slotted in that way, I think that goes in their favor. I think the Cowboys actually break the losing streak and the Monday night losing streak as well. I know it's only one, but they break that as well. And I think the Cowboys get a win here against the Cardinals.
Yeah. Obviously, week 10 for the Cowboys will be on our bye week, which is the perfect time for we've kind of not asked for a better time to take that bye week because the next games leading up to after the bye week is an absolute killer.
Yeah.
And this is where some decisions we might agree on, some decisions we may not.
True.
But on week 11, we play against Las Vegas, all going away to Allegiant Stadium. I'm not too sure. Like, their quarterbacks don't fit me that much. They've got Geno Smith, Aiden O'Connell, etc. But
Geno's all over the shop. You know, one week he's elite, the next week he's a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and they've got the stud and Ashton Gentry, who
that's the issue.
That's the issue,
and obviously
Brock Bowers. So that's the threat right there. So we just need to kind of see how that happens. But in terms of face value, I don't know. I'm gonna say a loss, unfortunately.
Oh, interesting. I'm going the other way. See, I'm going win. Right. You've got it's back-to-back Monday Night Football, first of all, which is a really annoying. Yay. But it's the bye week. So you play on the Monday, then you've got all that week and the next week off, but you don't play then until the next Monday. which plays in your advantage. You get an extra day's rest, and I think that's what comes into play here.
Mm-hmm.
The big one for me at this stage is, where is Ashton Gentry at that stage?
Yeah,
What is he going
that's
to
where I
do?
was thinking. That's where I
Yeah.
was thinking.
Kind of like the rest of the roster, you look at and you go, oh, okay. The wide receiver core is okay. It's nothing much there to threat. The threat comes from Brock Bowers. I mean, he's almost damn near impossible to stop. But what is Gentry like at that point? If he is what people are expecting, we're in trouble because it's stopping the run,
Yeah.
which the Cowboys have issues with. And if you're trying to put more emphasis on stopping the run, then Brock Bowers is just free to do whatever he wants. So that is the issue with Vegas. But I think because they've got more time to prepare for them, more time to rest, injuries, it's a great place week 10. Guys are going to be starting, because you are going to get guys who are having knocks and bumps, but they're going to be coming back into the roster and back working towards things. You may, I don't think you will at this stage, but at this stage, you've got guys maybe like DeMarvion Overshown starting to peak up, starting to do some work.
It's a lot of ifs and buts. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something we can do when we're talking about
The
the next time we do our predictions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've got Vegas on this one as a win.
All right. Okay. Then obviously the next game in week 12, we play Philadelphia at home, a game that we are attending, Mike. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be analytical on this one. I'm saying a win.
Nah, I'm staying analytical. I'm saying a loss, double loss, only because of how the Cowboys were last season against them. Unfortunately, I've got to go off what I've seen. How much better is the Cowboys roster improved from last season? It's improved. Has the Eagles, have they declined or have they improved? You kind of say this somewhere continuing on from where they left off. So the Cowboys were down here and the Eagles are up here, and it's kind of just done that. They've closed the gap. So what you're wondering at that stage is, how fit are both teams in terms of injuries?
I will tell you why I think that as well.
Go on.
They play Green Bay on week 10. They play Detroit in week 11.
I know.
So
it's a killer part of the schedule. It's an absolute killer.
Even for the Eagles, it's quite a killer part for them as well.
True.
So yeah, is it going to be an easy one? No, I'm going to say we just nail it. We just basically really sink it into and make it one each for the season.
Yeah.
I don't want to be blown out by the Eagles in both games. So. But yes, so you're saying a loss. I'm saying a win.
Okay.
Thanksgiving against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes. Another game we're at.
That's the big one for us.
Yeah.
And sadly for me, I'm going to say a loss.
And I'm going win.
All right.
I will tell you why. I'm going off historical trends. The last 6 games, Paul, both teams are tied at 3 wins and 3 losses each. Do you know how they go? Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And at the moment, the Cowboys lost to the Giants last time. So that means...
Giants?
The Giants. They lost to the Chiefs. Sorry. I'm looking at things as I'm talking. That they lost to the Chiefs last time, which would tell you, if the pattern continues, means the next time they meet, the Cowboys are going to win.
That's what I'm sorry, but you're starting to sound like a little bit like RJ, a little bit there.
I'm just going off trends. I'm playing trends.
No, I'm sorry, but no. I'm just
going.
And
I'm selfish as well. I'm at that game. I've paid a lot of money to be there. I want to see them win.
Yeah, I'm the exact same, but with Xavier Worthy, I know Travis Kelce's on the downside of things. He's slowed down a bit. He's still a big weapon and stuff like that. They've added more improvements to their defense. So, and it's a short turnaround. We're playing Sunday football, short turnaround, playing Thursday, and that's why I'm saying it's a loss. So then obviously going into week 14, which will be what our 13th game of the season. We are
Yes.
away to Detroit. I've also got this as a loss.
I'm with you there. I think
Yeah.
there's too much.
I think Detroit are just on fire at the moment. Like
Playoff caliber.
Yeah, and the way how Dan Campbell's got these guys drilled.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the home game we played against them a couple of years ago with that offensive lineman Glasgow kind of being offside or whatever it was, like like that was a gift to the Cowboys.
True,
it really was. So, but
you just think that it's a very heavy part of the roster. This, we get it every year, and this is the
part of the season where injuries are starting to creep up.
They're piling up. You hear it every year, and they're like, "Oh, the Cowboys have played 3 games in 12 days, and all the rest of it." And the Lions really are the ones that warrant. They benefit off the Cowboys having a very compacted part of their schedule right there. I just think it's too much, and like you say, Dan Campbell's put together a nice roster. They're playoff caliber. I don't see it being a win against the Lions. It would be nice, but I don't see it. I'm with you.
It's very difficult, yeah. Okay, moving on to week 15. We're back at home, and guess what? It's another Monday. It's Sunday. It's a late night football game on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings,
which isn't so bad.
It's not so bad. I've got us winning that game.
I'm with you. Win there
because I'm not entirely too sure where JJ McCarthy is. Obviously, he's now basically going to be playing his rookie season this year. We don't know where he's at. Like, there's a lot. Like, the Vikings normally do have a good roster. Yeah, they've got Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the game. But every time we've played against Jefferson, we have always seemed to shut him down.
Yeah, that is true. And historically, the Giants. I've got to.
What is it with you and the Giants?
I'm gonna take it off my screen. It's because I had the records against each teams there. Historically against the Vikings, the Cowboys have done really, really well. They've put 30 points or more on them numerous times in the last few meetings, even at Minnesota. So I think this one personally, I've got it down as a win. Yep. The team is it's not completely in disarray. They're kind of like trying to pull things back together, but they're a team this is the type of team Cowboys can take advantage of.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Yeah. So as of right now, I'm sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 and 5 right now.
Same. But we just got different teams. Me and you got different teams floating in different directions.
I'm 9 and 5. Yeah, I'm 9 and 5. Yes.
Yeah, I am. I've got 9 wins so far.
Yeah. So
with Minnesota, 9 with Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah. Now the week after, we're back at an early game on Sunday against the LA Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't get like the whole hype behind Justin Herbert. I really don't.
No.
I
Zero
really
playoff
don't.
Wins.
Like, I really don't. I really do not get it. And they've kind of went through a weird transition as well. Like,
true.
I believe Joey Bosa's no more. He's off to Buffalo. Like, they've lost some key players. Like, so for me, it's a Cowboys win. So
yeah, and here's the irony: this is now the 3rd time the Cowboys have played the Chargers at home, or on Cowboys on the road, if you like that. And the last 2 wins have been the Cowboys have won 20 and the Chargers win 17. Both times.
Oh, well. All right. Okay, so this is the final 2 games of the season at Washington and New York, both away from home. So the game against Washington is on Christmas Day,
Yes.
6 p.m. kickoff. This is the big one. We're like, if our early predictions say that we're 10-5, we're in contention of potentially winning the division. So more's on the line. Players
Yes.
could be injured, but but everyone needs to step up. So, with that being said, I am edged to say a win on this one.
I've got a
Yeah.
win on Christmas Day. Washington, if you think Thanksgiving as well, big games when the stage is set and they're out to go and play a big game on the national stage, they falter more than they do come away with a victory. So I think Cowboys on Christmas Day, they'll come away with a win. They'll want to set the tone. And I think, that's a big one for them. I believe it's a short week as well for Washington. I could be wrong without going back and checking the schedule.
I'll check for you right now. It is. And so Washington's schedule.
Who do they
It
play?
is. They
Yeah.
play no, actually.
Week 16.
Week 16 is on a Saturday.
Oh, it's where they got the jumbled up part of the season because of Christmas and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So they've actually got their extra day back, so they're actually fine.
So it's the other way around. Then I was thinking,
yeah.
but
So
I think that they win. And that puts then the Cowboys at 11 wins. In my mind, what I've got in my mind is that it's going one of two ways as well. That the Eagles are now on 12 wins, or they're a game back. So the Cowboys kind of like are going to be making the playoffs either way. So if we get to the Giants game, which is in the new year, I've actually got that as a loss. And I know that sounds crazy.
no, I agree with you in that because I'm thinking hypothetically here. If the
I think
Cowboys,
we're thinking the same. If
the Cowboys are 11-5, we've actually maybe secured the division. We might play our backups. That's where I'm thinking, and
that's exactly what I was thinking.
And Dable will definitely want to like bring in his new golden child and Jackson Dart to really see what he's made of, essentially, and whatever, and that, and give the Giants fans some hope for
something
2026. That's the only reason I'm giving this a Cowboys loss. That's the only reason.
And also twofold as well, that by Giants getting a win against the Cowboys in week 18, they lose the first overall draft pick.
That sounds like an absolute Giants thing. That sounds like somebody would absolutely mess up completely. All right, so there we have it, folks. So
we're both 11-6. We're both 11-6, essentially.
Yep. So 11-6. Yep. So
just we've gone different ways about it.
Yep. So the way I've got we lose the first game, we win 6 in a row, lose to Denver, win Arizona, lose to Las Vegas, win to Philly at home, lose to Kansas City, lose to Detroit, then we win 3 in a row to secure the division, and lose to New York because we're playing our backups. That's it in summary, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I've got Kansas as a win. I think it was Kansas. The difference for me and you was I had Kansas as a win. Did you have Green Bay as a loss or a win?
A win.
Yeah, and I had Green Bay as a loss.
There we go. There we have it, folks. Let us know in the comments, what do you predict for the Dallas Cowboys season schedule to be like? Do you think it's going to be 12-5, 11-6, 10-7,
17-0?
Oh no! Let's not do that, Mike. Let's not do that.
I know somebody in the comments who will put 17-0, and you know who I'm talking about.
But yeah, I know. But this is like, at the same time, when you're looking over this, it's quite an optimistic record to have with a rookie head coach, an all new coaching staff, a new philosophy, but just kind of based on face value on the teams that we're playing against, and have they really much improved from last year? Just like we don't know too much until we see these teams in action in training camp and in preseason. Then we can we'll revisit this before game day 1, which we'll do, and a preview for the Dallas Cowboys versus Eagles game. But yes, that is the end of this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on social media at the World's Team. Before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
You can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P.
You can find me at IamPeace2 on X and Instagram. Instagram. Oh my goodness.
That worked.
Well, just so everyone knows, it's about a late night for us as we're recording this. But yes, folks, be sure to hit likes and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. And as always, here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team; it is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time. Go Cowboys!
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?